19-year-old student Tara Calico left the house for a bike ride in the morning, promising her mother to return in a few hours. But no one could have imagined that this day would forever change the world of forensic science, becoming one of the most mysterious stories of disappearances. 36 years have passed, but thousands of people still ask one question: what happened to Tara Calico? Tara Lee Calico was born on the 28th of February, 1969, in New Mexico to David and Patty Calico. Tara had 5 siblings. When she was very young, her parents separated. Her mother married John Dole and, taking Tara with her, moved with him to Valencia County, or more precisely to the small town of Belen, about 7,000 residents, where the new family settled. Tara was described as organized, fiercely independent, and extremely outgoing. She was also a very energetic and athletic child. This spirit of adventure and freedom followed her into adulthood. Tara was what we call easy to rise, extremely active and adventurous, always ready to go on a hike or bike ride for tens of miles, even without preparation. She excelled in high school and made friends easily. After high school, Tara enrolled at the University of New Mexico and decided to study psychology, where she had a 3.9 GPA as a freshman. Very outgoing and inquisitive, she was fascinated by psychology, as she was endlessly interested in studying the human soul and learning new things. Tara dated her former classmate Jack Cole. They had a romantic and even beautiful relationship filled with adventures and funny stories. Jack kept up with Tara's active lifestyle, so they got along well and were a good match. With all this, Tara always knew how to find a balance between studying, friends, sports, and part-time work, managing to do literally everything. This was what amazed everyone around her the most. On Tuesday, the 20th of September, 1988, 19-year-old Tara, then just a few weeks into her sophomore year at the University of New Mexico, set out early for her daily bike ride. Tara still lived at her family home and often rode her bike with her mother along their usual 36-mile route along Highway 47 to the railroad tracks and back. This morning, however, Patty Dool did not ride with Tara. She left at her usual time, 9:30 a.m., and hit the road. Tara was riding her mother's bike, a neon pink Huffy mountain bike, since hers had gotten a flat tire a few days earlier. Tara was planning to be back before noon, since she had a tennis lesson with her boyfriend Jack that day, and then had to be at her 3:30 p.m. class. On the trip, Tara took a Walkman player with a cassette of the American rock band Boston, which she asked her mother to rewind, as well as headphones. Patty waited, but when Tara had not returned by 12 o'clock, she decided to ride the route her daughter had planned. The route they liked to bike was largely a straight line, and Patty became increasingly concerned when she reached the train tracks without seeing Tara or any trace of her. Patty called local hospitals to see if Tara had been in an accident that would require hospitalization. When Patty realized that her daughter was not in any of the hospitals, she gathered family friends to help her find the missing student. After the group failed to find any trace of Tara, Patty called the police. A police search was launched, but no trace of Tara was found that day. Officers suspended their search overnight to resume in the morning, but unfortunately, there was heavy rain in the evening, which may have washed away important evidence. The search resumed the following morning. In daylight, police noticed bicycle tire tracks, which looked as if the bike had suddenly veered off the road, about 3 kilometers from the house. Witnesses reported seeing Tara driving north on the highway toward her home around 11:30 a.m., about 3 to 4 kilometers from her home. Another witness said they saw a 1953 Ford pickup truck, off-white or light gray, with a homemade white body following her on the shoulder. They noted that Tara was wearing headphones and seemed oblivious to the truck driving behind her. A third witness who passed Tara recalled seeing her on a bicycle in a white truck with several passengers visible inside. Meanwhile, officers searched the area near the bike tracks and noticed several depressions in the soft ground, as if there had been a struggle. The officers followed the tracks and found Tara's cassette tape and several broken plastic pieces, likely from her Walkman, as well as several empty beer cans. The rest of Tara's player would be found at the John F. Kennedy campground, 19 miles east of Highway 47. The campground is located at the foot of the Manzano Mountains, in a remote and uninhabited area. With this new evidence, it became clear that this was no accident. She likely left it there as breadcrumbs to give searchers a clue. Suspicions grew that Tara had been abducted. After the discovery of the tape and the pieces of Tara's player, police efforts redoubled. But Patty said the local law enforcement response was mixed. According to Patty, one of the officers often floated all sorts of macabre theories, including a sacrifice in a satanic cult ritual. Of course, this was inappropriate and traumatizing for her mother. He also told a reporter in an interview that Tara had probably run away. The detective was soon fired, and the Belen Police Department said the behavior was inappropriate and beyond the pale. But other officers found a ton of other possible evidence found on the side of the highway, including a bottle of water, a patch of dented dirt, and even investigated 3 men seen drinking beer in the back of a pickup truck. But they turned out to be uninvolved. The disappearance shocked the entire area. How could a woman disappear in broad daylight when several witnesses had seen her? Why couldn't anyone find and identify such a rare vehicle, especially with several passengers? Based on witness statements, detectives released 2 sketches of the men in the truck. The driver was described as being in his 30s to 45, white, with red hair, tall, and with a lot of wrinkles near his temple. The other was described as a young white male. Despite extensive ground and helicopter searches, they had yielded nothing by the 27th of September. Detectives continued their investigation, but with no additional leads to emerge, the case eventually went cold. A year later, on the 15th of June, 1989, 1,700 miles away in Port St. Joe, Florida, a woman found a Polaroid photograph in an empty parking space outside a convenience store. The photograph showed an unidentified boy and girl, bound and with black tape over their mouths, lying in the back of a van. Before the woman found the photograph, witnesses reported seeing a white Toyota van parked in the area. The woman called local law enforcement, who passed the photo on to the FBI. The FBI decided to release the photo to local media outlets, and soon Patty's relatives called her, saying that the young woman in the picture resembled Tara. Patty flew to Florida to see the photo in person and concluded that the woman bore a striking resemblance to her daughter. What cemented Patty's belief was a scar on the woman's leg. Tara had been in a car accident as a child, and the scar and mark were left on her calf. Also visible in the photo is a copy of My Sweet Audrina by W.C. Andrews, one of Tara's favorite books. Several experts examined the photograph, but none came to a definitive conclusion that the woman was Tara. On the spine of the novel, when enlarged, a partial telephone number could be seen, but it did not lead to any leads. In August 1989, the FBI announced that it could not confirm whether the woman in the photograph was Tara. Los Alamos National Laboratory was also unable to reach a consensus. However, Scotland Yard, having examined the photograph, was still inclined to believe that Tara was in the picture. Later, 2 more photographs were found and studied, not published in the press. The first was found in Montecito, California, at a construction site. According to Patty, it was a blurry image of a woman's face with her mouth taped shut and a hairline similar to Tara's. The woman had a cowlick on her right temple and a noticeable lazy eye in one of her pupils, like Tara's. Behind the woman was a light blue striped cloth similar to the material of a van cushion. Patty believes it was Tara. Analysis of the photograph allowed her to date the photo to August-September 1989. The second photo was of a woman on an Amtrak train with a man sitting next to her. Her hands were wrapped in gauze and she was wearing black-rimmed glasses. The photo was taken around February 1990. Patty wasn't sure it was Tara, but the man's face looked like a composite sketch. Either way, even after 36 years, neither the woman nor the boy in the first photo had been identified. After this, Patty lost all faith in the FBI and law enforcement. She expressed disappointment and distrust in the various detectives responsible for investigating Tara's disappearance. Patty passed away in 2006, never knowing what happened to her beloved daughter. The disappearance of Tara Calico remains an unsolved mystery. Where did she go? What lies behind this case? What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments. Stay safe. Some situations can be more dangerous than they seem. If you enjoy mysterious cases like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm just starting out, and your support means a lot to me. See you in the next video. Thank you.